Hi, it's Maisha from May's Best Picks, and today I'm going to do a bulk review of all the 2021 horror releases. The first book on my list is a YA horror. It's called What Big Teeth. It's about this girl who was in a boarding school, but she had to come back because she attacked one of her frenemy type person, I guess. And when she comes back, she realizes that all her family are savages, and they're basically like werewolves, but like scarier, and like they're not the fun werewolves, they're like the scary werewolf people, and stuff starts happening, and she has to take care of her family because she's the only one who is not as savage as her family as her other family members. It was really good actually. I enjoyed it so much. I gave it a 5 stars. I was truly blown away by this book. I don't think YA horror gets as much recognition as it should. I don't know why people don't read YA horror more because they're so good always. Anyway, this was a fantastic release. Pick this up. I don't think I've really heard anyone on BookTube talking about it, but it's really good. Pick it up, please. The next book on my list is White Smoke. This is also another YA horror. It's about this girl who moves into this mansion with her family in this town where everyone is a bit weird and there are certain places she's not allowed to go, and something scary starts happening and we don't know if it's supernatural or not for the longest time. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. Well, I have a funny story actually related to this book. I was listening to the audiobook while I was on a walk. Near my house, there are a lot of trails, and if you depending on which trail you take, you might end up in a forest. And this was a new trail I was exploring, and I walked in, and I was walking in and it got progressively darker because of all the trees, and I was like going downwards on in a slope, and it was like pretty steep too. And so in the book there was this description about this girl. The main girl was video chatting with her friend. On the video chat, the friend is like, there's someone behind you, it's tall and slender and wearing a hood. And I was like listening to that and I was like really scared, and it was happening, and the girl was like going down to check what was that. And right then, like right at that moment, there was this jogger behind me wearing all black, wearing his hood up, and he like overtook me, and I screamed really loud. I think I scared the both of us, but he didn't skip a beat. He just kept running. I think it's funny. I thought it was funny. My friend thought it was really cringy and embarrassing. So please let me know which one you think it is. The next book is The Dead and the Dark. It's about this girl who goes to this town with her dads, and they realize that kids are going missing, and the main girl, her boyfriend, was one of those people who went missing, and everyone starts searching for them, and the main girl's dad is the main suspect in this case. And so the main girl teams up with this other girl in town to find out what's happening. It was not the best YA horror that I read this year. Like, I read it really quickly. It was fun, but not really memorable in my opinion. The previous two horror releases that I talked about were way more fun and horror, if that makes sense. I gave it a 3 stars. Oh, I forgot. I gave White Smoke 4 stars, and this one I gave a 3.5, which is not bad, but I was just expecting way more from this, I guess. But I would definitely pick up this author's next book. The next book in this category is The Taking of Jake Livingston. It's about this guy, Jake, who can see dead people, and we also get the point of view of the school shooter, and we find out why he shot up his school and killed himself. Jake, okay, so like this book, I can't really remember much about it. This was like pretty forgettable. I also forgot why we got the point of view, why we got the point of view of the school shooter. Don't remember. So I didn't really care about his point of view. I only wanted Jake's point of view because Jake was really being terrorized by the ghost of the boy. And I remember it tied really well. Like you find out later, like why you were getting both of their point of views, but I cannot remember why. Needless to say, not one of my faves. 3 stars. I remember reading it and liking it. The last YA horror release I have here is House of Hollow. It's about this girl who kind of suspects that something is not right about her and her sisters. So one day, her sister goes missing, her older sister, and she starts investigating the disappearance of her sister. And then we find out what's not right about them. This one was good. Okay, this one was good, but like it's not bad in any way. But I just didn't connect with it, and I really liked the twist though. But other than that, I was like bored for the middle of the book. Like the starting was solid, the end was solid, but the middle was not the best in my opinion. So I gave it a 3.5. Okay, the next few books I'm gonna talk about is the horror trope of someone losing their mind, or like something is happening that might or might not be real. The first book I have in this category is Nightbitch. It's about this woman who starts suspecting that she's a dog, and some people starts recruiting her for a MLM, and she starts suspecting that the head of the MLM is a golden retriever, and she starts playing with her son like he's a dog. It's really intense, but it's also slow. It's slow and intense. I cannot explain this book. It's good. I really enjoyed it, but it also made me really uncomfortable, and I guess that was like the point. I would give it a 3, but like I can see why people would really love it and why people would really hate it. I can see both sides. Next book I have in this category is All's Well. It's about this woman who's suffering from chronic pain, but no one believes her. And one day she meets these 3 people who claims that they want to help her. And she's a professor and she wants to do All's Well, but her students want to do the Scottish play. And she feels like she's losing her grip on her students, but these 3 people really come through for her, but also weird things starts happening. It's really good. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I mean, I guess I could see why some people would not consider it horror because it's not scary, but horror is more of a feeling, like the discomfort, the uneasiness, and everything that comes with it. I mean, I guess I could see that how it could not be horror, but also if it's not horror, I don't know where else to put it. Maybe magical realism, but then a lot of horror releases would be magical realism, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's really good though. Maybe like don't go into it expecting to be scared. Other than that, like if you go into it not expecting to be scared to death, then you might enjoy it because I went in expecting a weird book, because that's what Books and Lala described Mona Award's books, and that's exactly what I got. But it was really good, like weird in a good way. Like you don't know what's going on for a lot of the book, and that's what makes it really amazing and really weird. I might not be doing the book justice, but like trust me, it's really good in my opinion. The next book I have in this category is Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. It's about these two women who start talking to each other about uh, an apple peeler, I guess, I think, if I remember it correctly. And yeah, Descent into Madness. That's what the book is about. It's really short though. It's tiny. I finished it and I was like, what just happened? I was shocked. But also I can see why people would hate it. And I could also see why people would love it, because this book just shocks you. And if you're into books, if you're into the kind of horror that shocks you, you'd enjoy it. If you're not, you will not. Because I'm not into like really shocking books. So I didn't enjoy it as much. I gave it a 3 stars. But the end scene where like it's implied what happened, but it's not really shown, and your mind just like imagines the worst. That was really well done. But other than that, I really didn't enjoy I didn't like get how the main girl went from like that to that, if that makes sense. Uh yeah. Okay, next. Okay, so this book, it can be considered in this category. It's Comfort Me with Apples. It's about this woman who has this husband, and she starts finding hair and bones and fingers around her house, and she thinks that there might have been other women before her. And oh my god, this was really weird but also really good. I gave it a 4 stars. I can't tell you anymore because it's really short. But the ending got me. And then when I finished it, then like one of the lines like stuck in my mind, and I was like, oh my god, that's what the line meant. The line is, there are no other women. And after I finished it, I was like, oh, that's what that meant. It was really good. I would like to reread it after, now that I know the ending, because I don't know how many clues the author left. It was well done. The foreshadowing was there. Even though like I wasn't smart enough to pick it up, it was there. I like foreshadowing. And the last book I have in this category is The Last House on Needless Street. It's from 3 point of views. The first point of view is this man, and the second is his teenage daughter, and the third is this cat Olivia. The only character I remember the name of is Olivia, the cat. It's kind of slow. It builds up to something really good. It was really well done. uh I give it 4 stars because of the things that it did. Probably would have given it 3.5, but the last third really kept my attention on it, and it got bumped up half a star because of the ending. I really enjoyed it. It's slow though, and not really that scary. If you're looking for a scary book, this is not it. But if you're looking for something heart-wrenching and good, this might be it. The next category is serial killer slash mass murder. The first book in this category is Bloodless. It's about this agent who's trying to figure out why there are bloodless bodies showing up all around town. Also, this case of this supernatural entity that apparently lives in this town. It's really fast paced, really fun. I was not expecting the ending. This is the 20th book in the series, and which I didn't know that before I started it, because if I had known that, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. But even without reading the previous ones, I wasn't lost. There were a few things I was confused about, but like and I was like, wait, why are these not solved? Then I realized that what was going like it was the third. Then I realized it was the 20th book in the series. I'll probably not read the first 20, first 19, but I can say that this one was good, and I was not really lost while reading it. I was not expecting the ending though. It came out of virtually nowhere. Maybe there were some foreshadowing in the previous books, but I wouldn't know that. So that's my fault. And the next book in this category is the Final Girl Support Group. It's about these women who have a support group because they were all final girls in mass murders, and they find out someone is hunting them down. It's a slasher. There is not really much to the story other than all the really gory, descriptive murders. This was not my favorite Grady Hendrix books. I gave it a 3 stars. I mean, I enjoyed it while I was reading it, but like it got really gory and I had to like skip parts that were like really bad. But if you have read Grady Hendrix books, you'd know how he really likes body horror, and I'm not into that. So that might have been it. My favorite Grady Hendrix books. My favorite Grady Hendrix books. My favorite Grady Hendrix book is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. That one was really good in my opinion. I've also read Horror Store, and yeah, that's it. That's it, I think. And like I had forgotten how much he really likes to go into the body horror side of horror. Anyway, if you'd like to give any of the Grady Hendrix book a try, start with Horror Store if you like body horror, or Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires if you like creature horror. Slasher, not really my thing. Maybe if you like slasher, pick this one up. I have heard from people who like slashers that this was a good one, but since it's not my thing, I can't attest to that. Okay, that's the end of the category, and the next 2 I have don't really fit into any of these categories. The next book is The Drowning Kind. This one was truly scary. This was the only book in this list that gave me real nightmares. Like my mom heard me scream at night and she asked me why I was screaming, and I was like, and then I told her the story and she's like, oh yeah, makes sense. Now I'm scared too. It's really good. It's about this girl she finds out that her sister died, and her sister drowned in the swimming pool even though her sister used to be a swimmer, and she feels really guilty because her sister had called her like 20 times the day she died, and she goes back to the town where her sister died, and there is this body of water that can grant you wishes, but it will also take from you, and it's really scary. It has that, you know, the monkey's paw trope. I don't know why, but I find that trope so scary. Like when you wish for something and it comes true, but not in the way you were expecting. And this has an amazing ending. The ending I did not see coming. And when that happened, I was like, anyway, I give it a 5 stars. If you are looking to be really scared, pick this one up. And the last book I have on this list is Cackle. It's more of a fun horror. It's about this teacher who moves into this small town, and she meets this woman who basically owns the town, but everyone in town is scared of her. And there is this really cute spider, Ralph, I think his name is, and I love the spider scenes. I also love well, I wouldn't call it a friendship. It's more of a mentor-mentee relationship that the witch and the main character had. It's not really scary though. It was fun though. It was not scary, but it was fun. I gave it a 4 stars. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you're wondering why I'm so dressed up, it's because I'm going to a wedding. Yeah, I will go now to the wedding.